Welcome to our video presentation. This is going to be beneficial for lessons 6.1 and 6.2 for this week in math. Welcome back. I'm Mrs. De La Mota and I'm here with Mr. Rangel, and and we're here to make math fun and to help answer questions that you have. Today we are talking about similar figures. It's an introduction to similar figures, and over here are some important tips, facts for you to remember. When we talk about similar figures, we mean that you're talking about the shapes. They're going to be the same shapes, but they will be different sizes, and they are going to be proportional differences. The math symbol for similarity looks like this. And similar shapes is very important. It's not just that it's the same shape, but it is that they're proportional in size. And also you're going to touch on scale factor, which is talking about that proportional difference in size. So let's take a look over here at number 1. I see that I have two triangles here, and I am going to find the value of x. So as I look at these, I see that they are indeed the same shape. And so we're going to determine what is the length of this missing side. So I'm going to organize this by writing first shape, and I'm going to put all my information about shape 1 in this column, and I'm going to say second shape, and I'm going to put all my information about the second shape in the second column, and I'm going to make that these two are going to be equal. So I see I have a side of length of 3 in my first shape. And I see that the same side, the corresponding side on the larger shape is going to have a 6. So I'm going to put all my information again for the first shape in this column. I see that this side has a length of 4 feet. And it's always good to include the units, whatever you're doing. And over here, I see that the same corresponding side has a length of x. That's the one I'm solving for. Now, I have a proportion written down because these two are going to be proportional in size. The way I solve a proportion is I go through and I'm going to cross multiply, which looks like this. Cross multiply means you're going across. So we're going to kind of form an x here at the end. So what I'm going to multiply is 4 times 6 and 3 times x. So I'm going to be writing 3 times x is 3x, and that will be equal to 4 times 6, which is 24, and we are calling it 24 feet. Now I need to go ahead and I'm going, since 3 and x are multiplied together, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I'm going to end up with 8 feet. So I now know that the missing side length is 8 feet. And we're going to go ahead and go on to the second one. Let me raise this up. I hope that's going to stay. Okay, for the second one, we have a trapezoid shape that we're looking at. So I'm going to make sure that I do the same thing again with the first shape and the second shape. And I'm going to make sure that I'm lining my sides up so that I'm comparing corresponding sides. So information about the first shape. I can see that I was given the length for 12, which is equal in proportion to the length of 18. Now I have 14 feet over here, again with the units. And I'm solving for this longer side here of x. So once again, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply 12 times x, which gives me 12x. And then I have 14 times 18. So if you have a calculator, you may use that. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. And when I multiply that together, I end up getting 252 feet. Now I have to divide both sides by 12. So I'm going to write that over here. I'm going to take 252. Remember, whenever you have a fraction, the top number goes into the dividend and the bottom number becomes your divisor. And I end up with a side length of 21 feet. We're going to look at one more example. And on this third example, after we solve it, I'm going to add one extra step to prepare you for the last answer on your homework, on your assignment for the week. Let's look over here let's see. Here we have this. Does that show?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? All right. I hope that you're having fun with these because they follow the same pattern, and I think they're very fun to do. So I hope that you're already looking by example 3. You're already remembering I'm going to have my first shape. I'm going to have my second shape. So hopefully you remembered to set that up right away, and then I'm going to put all my information for the first shape here, the second shape here. So I look and I am given these two sides as corresponding sides. I'm going to say 15 and look at them. Remembering to put in my unit is equal to the same thing on this side with 20 inches. Now I look. Now on this one, I don't know. I'm solving for the first one this time. I have an X over here, but I know that it's going to be in proportion to the line over here, this side. So now I'm going to do the same thing, cross multiply. I'm going to be multiplying 20 times X, and I'm going to write that as 20X. Then I'm going to have 15 times 12. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that over here. So I've got 15 times 12. And I get 180. So I'm going to make that equal to 180. I now need to divide both sides by 20. And little trick, if you knock off the zeros, you can think of it as 18 divided by 2, and the answer we get is 9. So this missing side length over here, let's see, did I cover it up? Oh, it's over here. It's going to be 9 inches. All right, so enjoy working on similar figures and solving for those missing sides. I said that I was going to add one extra, but I think instead of using this one here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back up to that first one. And on the example for this one, this is the one we did, and I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to work with the two given sides. I'm going to have you look over here where it says to solve for scale factor, you're going to set up your ratio as new over original. What scale factor refers to, again, it's the proportional difference in size. We just did 3 examples where we solved for a missing length. We were trying to solve for how long is a specific side. But with scale factor, we're going to look at this as though we already know. We're not solving for a side this time. I have 3 feet, which corresponds to the side over here of 6 feet. And I'm going to set this up with scale factor as new over original. Now, this is not a word problem. So in a word problem, you're going to have that information where you know what was new, what was original. But we're going to say since this one came first, this is our original. This one came second, so this one is new. So I'm going to take my new over original. And in this comparison, we're going to say 6 is new. And we're going to write it over 3, which was the original. Then I'm going to divide it or reduce, and 6 divided by 3 becomes 2. So the scale factor difference in those would be a scale factor of 2. And that's just a real quick introduction into Skill Factor. So thank you for joining us. We miss you so much and we love you. We hope you're doing well.